Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I do that. But you quick correction officer video, man. I'm gonna give y'all some game. Anybody that's just starting in corrections, even if you work in corrections, I'm gonna give y'all some game, to help you cope with the negative environment, the constant emotional stress that we subject ourselves to working as correctionals, and I just want to be, the person that tells you in this video not to let the negativity get you down. It's a stressful job. It has its moments, it's a lot of negativity that comes with working in corrections. You will see a lot of bad things happen. You got the public's perception of correctional officers that we uneducated. We beat the inmates, we're cruel to the inmates, let them tell it. You never see a lot of positive things that comes, when you look in the news and stuff when it comes to corrections. All the time, a lot of times, it's just, you see officers that either brought in contraband or were sleeping with inmates, bribery, stuff like that. You never see a lot of good stuff in corrections, So the first thing I want to mention in this video is to always do your best, to try to stay positive, always keep that upbeat, positive, optimistic life, mindset about life. That's one thing I can pride myself on, is that I'm always optimistic about life. And I know at the end of the day, it's just a job. That's what I treat it as such. It's just a job. It's not my life. It's not like I'm doing a life sentence. It's just a way I put food on my table, and it's the job and the profession I chose to do. So I don't let it control my life, run my life. When I'm out at work, I'm not thinking about work. The only time I'm thinking about, work or the prison outside of work is when I'm doing these videos to help y'all out. Anybody that's in corrections or thinking about joining corrections, to be an officer, Other than that, I don't be thinking about learning. I don't let it run my head. I don't let the job live rent free in my head. Yes, I'm there a lot. I do a lot of hours right now, but I have an end goal in mind. I don't plan on working a lot of overtime for the remainder of my career. I'm just trying to run it up right now, stack the dollars up right now while I can. And then on the back end, I'm going to be chilling. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. I make it work for me. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep doing the things that you enjoy. When I'm not at work, I'm big into fitness. I've been lifting weights 22 years, so I'm going to go to the gym regardless of how my shift went, regardless of what went down. Unless it's an emergency, family issue, I got injured or got in a car crash, something crazy, I'm going to the gym. It just is what it is. So you need to do the same thing when it comes to you and your career and what you like to do outside of work. You like to draw, you like to watch anime, you like to visit parks and be outside in the nature. You like to surf, skateboard, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. You always have to find and have your happy place outside of work. And you need to continue to do the things that you enjoy doing. That helps you with having something to look forward to, So don't never stop doing, what you love to do. This is the next thing I want to mention in this video. Yes, I said bad things happen inside the prison. You're going to see a lot of crazy stuff. But you have to remind yourself, bad things, they don't just happen inside the prison. They happen in the real world too, Just because you seen the inmate get stabbed, or you found an inmate that committed suicide, you seen a lot of blood got on you, that can happen in the real world too. People getting car accidents, a mass shooting can happen in the store that you in. People die, somebody didn't wake up today, somebody, unfortunately, they didn't make it to today. So, you got a lot to be thankful of, so don't go into it with a negative mindset, always thinking, of the bad that can happen, because like I said, bad things do happen, but they also happen outside in the free world as well. The next thing, that'll help you out as far as with the negativity is not taking things personal when you work behind that wall. I mentioned this in other videos. The inmates are going to say a lot of bad things to you. You may get called out of your name, disrespected. They may talk about you, your religion, your preference, your sexuality, stuff like that. You may have disagreements, arguments with your coworkers, but you can't take it personal at the end of the day. You have to learn how to cut it off and leave it at the gate when it's time to go home. Because the next day when you show up for your shift, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see those same people. You're going to see that same inmate, man, that you just had an argument with said 2 days ago. You have to leave the past in the past and keep moving forward, man. You got to have tough skin. You got to have thick skin. You know, you're going to, like I said, you may get into a bad argument with a coworker, man. Words may be exchanged, cuss words may be exchanged, and you could get into a bad argument or altercation with an inmate, and the same situation happen. You just got to learn how to be an adult, you know, be the bigger person and leave it where it's at, you know. The next thing, you know, I just mentioned this, man, but learning to leave work at the gate. You know, once I clock out, my relief shows up, I leave work at work. I'm not coming home, you know, telling about how bad or effed up my day was. You know, I move on, you know. I'm like, some days are going to be bad, and you got your good days. You know, every job is like that. You got your good and you got your bad. You have to learn how to take the good with the bad. You know, it's not going to always be good, but it's not going to always be bad neither. You know, working in correction, I can say this. You know, I've been 13 years in. I've worked at 3 different facilities. Majority of the time, it's like a smooth shift most days. You know, it's a routine thing. You know, it's like 95% of the time you got your routine. It's a chill day on the unit if you're working on the unit. You know, and it's like routine structure as usual. Then you got that 5% where you don't know what's going to happen. Inmate may try to commit suicide. Inmate overdose on drugs. K2. You got to fight. Staff get assaulted. Stuff like that, man. You may have to go on a cell extraction on an inmate in a lockdown cell who's refusing to take his medication or something like that. You know, you just don't know what's going to happen. You know, but I can say this though. The good far outweighs the bad when it comes to working in corrections. You know, is it a thankless job? Yes. Does it have its bad and its cons? Yes. You know, you in the beginning, especially as a rookie officer, you know, you're going to have to work the holidays, the weekends, different shifts. You may get forced to work over into the next shift against your will because they're short staffed, stuff like that. You may hear a lot of negative stuff out in the free world when you turn on the news when it comes to corrections or from your co-workers or the inmates. You in a negative environment where people don't want to be there. That's just keep it 100. The inmates don't want to be there. They're there against their will and whatnot. But we deal with it, and you just keep it moving, man. You know, just know what your purpose is and be in tune with yourself. And never forget the reason that you signed up for the job. You know, you're trying to make a difference. You know, you coming to work and it's a good career overall. You know, like I said, it's been good to me overall. I think back on my career as far as when I first started, and the good far outweighs the bad. You know, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. You know, I never thought I'd even be a correctional. I didn't really even know anything about corrections. You know, when I was in college, you know, the most I may have known about corrections was what I seen on TV or in the movie. Something like that. But outside of that, I didn't think nothing of corrections. One of my professors recommended it to me. He was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as my career path. I studied criminal justice in college. One of my professors was like, why don't you try out corrections? You know, I used to be a CO back in the day before I became a college professor. So I was like, you know what, I'll try it out. And here I am 13 years later, you know, so we just rolling with the punches. The next thing, as far as negativity, not letting it get you down, is to avoid toxic and disgruntled coworkers as much as possible. I can't stress this enough, man. You're going to run into coworkers wherever institution you at, man. It's like they always in a bad mood. They always disgruntled about the job or talking bad about the job, negative. They quick to try to file a grievance. They feel like they've always been wronged on something, man. I just do my best to try to avoid them people as much as possible. Keep it professional or say little as possible, man, because next thing you know, it's like they going to try to get you looped in to their negative mindset, you know, get you on board with what they got going on. I don't have time for none of that, man. I pride myself, you know, in trying to stay in an upbeat, optimistic mindset. And I understand that every day is not going to be a good day working behind that wall, you know. But I can't allow somebody else's mindset or negativity to weigh on me. You know, it's going to start to weigh you down. And it's like they're going to drain you of your energy. You know what I'm saying? And I can't go for it. I just can't. So those type of people, I just try my best to avoid them as much as possible. If I got to work with them directly, you know, I just keep it to a minimum. Try to keep everything focused on the job and the policy and the procedure. You know, I'm not letting sit here, you know, and let them just nag and keep talking about how the job is bad. I'll go get up and walk off, go do a round on the unit or something like that. I don't have time for those type of people, man, you know, because it's like they're going to weigh on you, man. It's like next thing you know, you're going to start to think the job is bad when in reality, ain't nothing happened to you. You know, it's just certain, that's just how people are. You know, you can't please everybody. Everybody's not going to be happy. You know, they keep showing up for the job, so it can't be that bad. It just is what it is, man. Once you know how to move around people, maneuver around people, and you know how people are, it'll make your job a whole lot easier. You know what I'm saying? The last thing I want to leave y'all with, man, is to never forget, at the end of the day, it's just a job. It's just a job, you know, that you signed up for, and you know, you go in there and do your job, and you do the job to the best of your ability, and you get paid for it, and you go home. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's not a death sentence. It's not a life sentence. You know, yes, like I said, if you do it long enough, you're going to see bad stuff. But every job out here in the world has its good and its bad. You know, no matter what job you do, no job is just perfect, you know. So you just deal with stuff, and you just got to keep it trucking. You got to keep moving forward. You can't dwell on stuff. You can't let stuff get you in a bad state of mind, bad spirits. And you just got to keep rolling with the punches. You know, I mean, it's just a job at the end of the day. It's how I put food on my table. I go in there. I try to do the job to the best of my ability. I'm far from perfect. You know, I'm not the epitome of what a correctional officer is, but I try my best every day. You know, I try my best to enforce the rules and to stick to the policy and procedure. And when it's over, I leave it at the gate. When it's time for me to go home, and I'm out here living my best life, doing what I love to do, you know, focused on the things that make me happy in life. Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got merchandise for sale. Shop with me on my website, www.theghettobodybuilder.com. Y'all got any comments, questions, or concerns? Drop a comment in the comment box. I'll be sure to get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.